brother. We all worked at the bowling alley at Walnut Y, see? And so it's sort of had a lot of camaraderie there between us, and looking at we as adults and how we went through our lives, you know, growing up and what have you, and the number of persons we have associated with. See?
Mm-hmm. What was it like? What drove you guys to continue to get that education? I'm trying to pinpoint something. It's interesting to me, you know, where we grew up.
Sure.
And where
sure.
you grew up.
Right.
And of course, a lot of people probably don't know this, but there were a lot of white students in the neighborhood, a lot of white neighbors.
Sure.
A
sure.
Street and so forth and so on.
Right.
And I think that myth that it was always all black people there, that's not the case.
Right, right. Well,
But in any event, what did the teachers do? I mean, why were you so motivated to go to college? Why did you guys do so well in high school? Not just sports. I know you guys did well in sports, but and I know Kenya was academia. That was his thing. But you know, what was it? I mean, tell me about these teachers. I probably ended up, I missed all of that, but I'm just trying to figure out what caused you to do so well.
Well, we had great teachers, and I guess it all started from home. My parents tolerate no nonsense. You know, they expect you to do what you should be doing, to go to school, and of course they didn't have the great opportunity that we had. Of course, coming out of the Eastern Shore of Maryland, out of my dad's family, the youngest sister there went to Morgan State College.
Oh, wow.
And being a teacher and principal. Mm-hmm. Okay, so looking at the, you know, the family growing and looking at times and how they had to struggle, it drove us to say, you know, we got to find a better way. We got to get education or whatever, so we won't have to do those things, because we're looking to one day we will become parents and have families. Right. And then we had remarkable teachers. They instilled it upon you. Looking at in the first grade, the teacher there was Kenya's neighbor, Miss Henry, lived right across from Kenya.
Gertrude J. Henry.
And then progressing on, I looked at one of the classmates, Tom Young. We were in the start of school together, and his aunt was a teacher at number 5 in the 2nd grade. Kenya, I don't know how he had to leave the 400 block of 12th Street, number 5 school, but number 29 was right on the corner where Howard Career Center is now. You know, and so we had those teachers leading us. Mrs. Harris, my 7th grade teacher in high school, lived all the way across town in West 6th Street, and coming across town. And then you had Miss Redding, just to name a few, who was right up on the hill, whose house had been transferred, you know, relocated. And we had Mr. Young. Mr. Naylor was the coach of football and baseball. He sort of, to me, was the father figure out of home, because he, you know, he tolerated no foolishness, and then looked to push you and stuff for you to excel. So, you know, those was the things. We also look at the times where I had to struggle. Looking at Lenny, he had shined shoes, what have you. Harmon Carriage shined shoes. I shined shoes right there. Woodrow Wilson's hat store, Woodrow hat store, up here at 5th and Market, right around the corner of Queen's Theater, but adjacent to the same building. It was a comfort station up around there then. And then leaving from there, shining shoes, went and worked in the bowling alley. Family's growing, you know, try to help out with the family. And so these things, they kept trying to push you, say, hey, you know, we need to make it better, help out with the family. The teachers, don't let them down. They spent a lot of times and hours, you know, instilling upon us, you know, to make sure we were well educated. See?
Okay.
So.
Well, tell me a little something about this Bancroft. You really stunned me when you told me that the other night.
I'm listening and I was trying to get the teachers' names in my head that was mentoring to, you named Mr. Naylor, and you named Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
And I was trying to think of some of the women, but when I'm talking about Bancroft, some of the names you remember, because it was a little bit after, Mr. Bowie, Mr. Nelson, I'm trying to think where Mr. Lewis was.
Gator Lewis, he was a phys ed teacher.
And matter of fact, Gator told me, he said, Phelps, why are you hanging around here? You ain't doing nothing in school. Why don't you do something? And, you know, everybody's going to go to Howard. Bancroft I think went to the 10th
Yeah,
grade.
yeah.
And the lady that was a teacher, and you got to help me here, her hair was kind of blue. It was gray, but she dyed it blue.
Pauline Coleman.
Mrs. Coleman.
It's
Yeah,
pinching.
Mrs.
It's a pinch on you.
Mrs. Coleman, Miss Coleman used to come around, she'd pinch
Yeah.
and get you set up.
Long nail.
And she looked at everybody else in there and said, she said, y'all think Phelps is all quiet, you know. He quiet because he's sneaky. But I know him, and she made me pay attention. Math gave me a headache, still gives me a headache, you know, calculus. But because of her, I was able to do the things I did. And then when Gator told me I needed to do something else, integration come along, and everybody was going to Howard,
yeah.
from Howard rather to Wilmington High,
Wilmington High,
PS.
PS.
Yeah.
It was a school out on the west side there. They went to Penn, open up to color folks. And there I was, waiting to go to school, follow the rest of them, but ended up in the Army.
Oh, okay.
That's what happened to me. But Bancroft was the watering hole that fed me, fed us. And those folks that went from Bancroft to Howard and went on, I look at, we talk about Louis L. Redding, who mentored to Lenny Williams.
Right.
Yes.
And there was another Republic on Lombard Street, little fella.
Mr. Morris.
Mars, Mr. Mars. He mentored to us right there. And then when I talk about him, I think about the Congos who were there, along with the funeral director.
Ed Bell.
Edward R. Bell.
Edward R.
Mr.
Bell.
Yeah.
They were not just folks who were in business, but they mentored to the kids, the young folks coming up. They gave us a reason to want to be somebody and do something and look up to. And Kenyon was next door to, there were some folks next door to you on 12th Street, was it, Kenyon?
The Lopers.
Was it the Lopers?
Yes, later on.
And I just remember those folks being an inspiration.
Yeah.
And Kenyon talked about his birthday. When's your birthday? On the
March 16th.
16th of March.
16th. I think he got me about 4 years, maybe. So trying to get with you, trying to remember, you was telling me, trying to get those years in from the west side to the east side. And there are so many. And you were an inspiration coming in like you did. And I look back and my kids look up to you and looked up to you, and I think, you know, I feel like I must have been around for 100 years. But it was our teachers who, the coaches in the sports, the shop teachers, and we had shop, we had home economics, those things, learning the young ladies how to grow up and be homemakers, and then we lost some of that when we integrated. If it wasn't for the schools, Brown, what we call them,
right on the corner.
the vocation schools,
Brown
I think we would have lost some more. But we had teachers who were father and mother figures away from home. So our homes, our home upbringing and respect for each other continued because they mentored to us like a mother or a father. And that's how I remember it's all hodgepodge coming back together, sitting next to these two historical gentlemen right